Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Slow Flowers Show. I'm Deborah Prinzing. I'm coming to you from Bellevue Botanical Garden in Bellevue, Washington, just outside of Seattle. I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, Katie Lila, host of Follow the Blooms, which you will soon be able to watch on your local PBS channel, which is pretty amazing. Hi, Katie.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for meeting me.
You bet. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's airing. It's out.
Oh my gosh. So. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to share all those details. When Katie and I first met, we live in the same state, but on opposite sides of the state. I'm in Western Washington. You're in Eastern Washington.
Yes.
You did something that was so, manifested of a vision you had that you made happen. And so many of us have ideas that we never act on. And I just love that you created a TV show. And it initially, Follow the Blooms was streamed on some kind of platform, like a online platform, right? Mm-hmm. And now we did a podcast interview about that. But what has happened that was what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, three and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. Well, I think we should describe what Follow the Blooms is, and then I'll back up and get the journey to the end.
Okay. Follow the Blooms is source to spectacle. So we started a flower source. This season 1 is small flower farms, lots of locally grown, amazing growers, kind of meeting the grower, learning all about their flowers, and then taking that to a design mode and then to an experience.
That's the spectacle.
Yes, the spectacle. So every episode will go from farm to experience.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. There are how many?
10.
10 episodes in the first season.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason we connected is through Slow Flowers, but also you asked me, hey, could we bring a crew and film at the Slow Flowers Summit, which was held here at Bellevue Botanical Garden in 2023.
Yeah.
Which is why we're back here, because a lot has happened. And I'm going to just hand it over to you to describe why we're here today and what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm so delighted. This is my first time back since we filmed here. But Bellevue Botanical Garden Slow Flowers Summit was happening here. And I loved the idea of bringing a hands-on flower experience for all of the guests that were coming to the garden and also to the summit.
Right.
And so I always wanted to create this mural that was essentially a paint by number, but a flower by color. So
I love it. It was so fun.
It was so fun. I have a muralist friend out of Coeur d'Alene, Toby Keogh, and she painted this gorgeous mural. And then we were able to use local flowers and insert those flowers into the mural throughout the summit. So.
We're going to show photos and video of this. The mural was massive, like 10 feet by 8 feet or something like that.
Yeah,
it was
10 by 12 maybe.
It's like the wall of a room. And Toby does murals on the walls of rooms, so it kind of was fitting. Mm-hmm. What appealed to you about coming to the summit? I guess because you knew there'd be a group of people and you liked the experience as part of the storyline, right?
Right, yeah. I was in events for a long time. And then I started these hands-on experiences, and I loved that people could access flowers in a different way. There was this hands-on element, this group effort in creating something magical with flowers, And what better place than the summit where all of these flower lovers are coming together to celebrate,
Right. We were so thrilled that you were interested and also participated. And there's a little bit of a backstory on that because you filmed at a flower farm and you filmed at the wholesale, which is now called Seattle Growers Market, hub for flowers. So you tried to weave in a little bit about the journey of the flowers till how they got here, right?
Yes. Honoring I always like to honor the space you're in and also the growers that are affected by that space, right? Yeah. Or that affect that space,
Many of the farms that you visited, and I've watched all of the interviews, all the episodes, you were working with farms maybe that you knew or had a relationship with because they were in your community, right?
Yeah, a lot of them I had worked with before, and I wanted to celebrate their flowers, right? So that was really fun in season 1 to be able to feature my friends and that were also growers, So it's probably about, I think it's 7 out of 10 are around Spokane.
Yeah, I'm thinking that treehouse one probably didn't use local flowers. That was really unique.
Yes, the treehouse was in Snoqualmie Falls, and the grower was right there outside the falls. So.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you first designed this show, it was just by virtue, when I talked about manifesting, it was by virtue of your ingenuity and your force of your personality. You've got people into this big tent with you to create it. It was also self-funded, and you worked with a small crew, and everyone was all in, but it was kind of a labor of love. And now you're kind of in the big leagues, and that's what we're kind of celebrating tonight. Can you talk about what's happened and what got you into the family of public television and what we can expect going forward?
Sure, yeah, great question. And long story, but I'll try to make it shorter, right?
Go.
So I was looking for a place to distribute, right? We had made this amazing season, and we were looking for an opportunity to distribute, and we wanted to have a bigger reach.
Yeah.
I love public media, public television, because everyone has access to it. I think that's really beautiful. I think that's part of my mission, is that everyone have access to flowers as large-scale design and art.
Wait, let's just stop and say your business is called Flowers for People. So yes, I believe you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes,
it is your mission.
Yes, Flowers for People, right? And try to take down as many walls as we can around that. Mm-hmm. So I was always had my eye on PBS, public television.
Oh, wow.
Right? And a couple of my heroes are public television personalities, right? I love Fred Rogers. Of course, I love Bob Ross. But I just love these people that made bridges, right?
Yeah.
Of accessibility.
Wow.
So that was always my first go. But I knocked on that door, and it didn't open. So I tried every other door I could find. And as most people know, when you're building something that doesn't exist, you just keep trying, right? And so
keep showing up, which you do.
Yeah, you just keep finding a new avenue, right? Miraculously, after a year and a half of trying to figure out where it would be a good fit, my local station is KSPS in Spokane, Washington. And the producer there, Jim Zimmer, who's an amazing man, what happened? He found it in the pile somehow, right?
Okay.
This local show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you had sent in a tape or something.
Yeah, I had sent in the link to the show, right?
Yeah.
Here's what we built, and most of it is in Spokane, and so Jim was like, "Hey, let's talk. This is incredible."
Wow. That's great.
And that came out of nowhere because it had been a long time, over a year, since. I met with Jim, and then was able to air the show regionally for a year.
And was that last season, and what is a season? Like fall to spring, or how does that go?
So a season is just season 1 would be the 10 episodes I have, right? Mm-hmm. And then they would air that for a year. Most contracts on PBS are about 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
But he said, let's air it for a year, and then the national, it's called American Public Television, can take a look at it and see how it's going and see how it's doing, and so then you can present it. It's quite the quite the journey on PBS. You have to have a presenting station that says, hey, here's this show, and we've tested it out, essentially.
They kind of birthed you or gave you your launch pad.
Totally. Yeah. They vouch for you. They kind of, now you have legitimacy, I guess is a good word. And they took it to American Public Television with their stamp of approval. And then American Public Television said, yeah, we want to do it. And we started down the airing it nationally in June. So
just this past June.
Yeah.
Do you know how many? I was chatting with my husband about this, and I have had a few friends involved in public TV. And as I recall, as I was telling him, you get kind of put into this
buffet.
I was going to say database, but like this bucket of shows, and then stations all around the country check it out and decide whether they're going to add it to their lineup.
Yes.
Okay. So
not only are you now we made it. but you didn't. Now everyone has to choose you,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So yes, you're streamable all the time. So Follow the Blooms is streamable all the time, of course.
On PBS?
Yep, the PBS app.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. We'll make sure we share that with people.
Yeah, so you can always stream it, all 10 episodes, but to get airtime, every community, every PBS station has to choose you.
Okay.
Okay. So so that's an interesting ball game in itself, right? I found a really lovely, I call her my PBS agent. They have other titles, and she knows everyone, and so she promotes the show.
She kind of represents the show
Yeah.
in that community. So are you still working on that? Or
Yeah.
because it's like a rolling acquisition where
Yeah.
some people started in June and others might.
Yeah, like Seattle started just now in August.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can pick it up for 2 years essentially.
Okay.
And some of them will play it over and over. Some of them might play it a couple times a week, you know.
Oh, wow.
So,
the
yeah.
Seattle one is Cascade Public Television? Okay. And I know that in Seattle is Channel 9, but I think they probably are on other channels in other parts of Western Washington.
Oh,
so,
sure, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And so
very cool.
this is kind of the kickoff for the Seattle metro market to
Yes.
have Follow the Blooms on the TV screen.
Yeah.
In addition to the streaming.
Right. So
That's
it can
awesome.
be just right there airing. And they've been lovely. They said, hey, we know that you're semi-local,
Yeah.
right, in the state. So can we have you out to do a feature and that we can share and air along with the show? And I said, of course you can, yes.
Oh, did you already film that? Is that something separate?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
We're, filming that tomorrow.
and then that'll be available for people to see?
Yep.
or- Katie,
Yeah,
that's
so-
great.
Yeah, I feel very grateful.
Well, and I feel like what you're doing is you're just acting like a missionary for nature, for gardens, for flowers, for local flowers. And somehow when you talked about breaking down walls, you're making it, you're demystifying it. You're making it easy for people who maybe don't garden but might be thinking about it to feel like they could get involved.
Yes, I hope that's the case.
Yeah,
That's what
because
I
you're
wanna
not a
do.
how-to garden show, and that's what I guess what I was getting as PBS is known for some of those, Victory Garden kind of really intense how-to garden shows.
Sure. Yeah,
This
there's
is
some
more
great
like
ones.
a garden lifestyle show or a flower lifestyle show.
Yeah, and also entertaining, right? I think flowers are so fun, and I think sometimes that gets missed when people are intimidated by how to, or they don't want to mess it up. I think we need to just play,
Yeah.
flower play.
The episodes that really like embedded in my mind all had play involved, and they all had interactive components, like at a library, at a marathon or 10K race, I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly,
Wednesday
at some
race.
kind of dinner party. Like there was always the public component, and people were encouraged to touch flowers and play with flowers, and there was no right or wrong.
Yes.
And I think that's really, and of course here at the Slow Flower Summit, we had a lot of professional florists and flower farmers, but nobody was like above getting involved with decorating that paint by color or flower by color design. I mean, everybody was on board because it was such an innovative idea. And
Yeah.
I love
Well, and
that.
they were, every single one of them was like, oh, I should do this. I want to add this, and I want to do this in a different way. And maybe I put the bride and groom's name, or maybe, they were all just a million ideas as they were creating. And I thought, yeah, this is what I hope, right? Is that people take the idea and then ripple it out in their own way.
Right, right. So when you got started, you said you came out of events. Were you producing events and doing floristry, or how did that kind of background lead you to deciding to start a show?
Sure.
Explain it.
Yeah, I was going to say, my life is more like a swirl versus a straight line.
I think a lot of us, that's why I asked it, because I think a lot of us just need to see that someone else has done this. And I will just say my role model has always been Ina Garten, who wrote her first book at age 52. Okay. And when I read that in a profile the New York Times did of her years ago, I was like, okay, there's never a bad time to start. Just act on your idea and follow your passion. But
I
you
love
obviously
that.
are much younger than that. So walk me through that leap of working in events and flowers and getting to this more public-facing role that you're playing now.
Sure, yeah. So I did I did flower events. My husband was in medical school. I had a bunch of babies, so I was trying to figure out how can I make a impact on our family budget and do something that I love, and also increase in my skill, right? So I did I did weddings mostly and events. And then when I moved to Spokane, my husband got a real job. My kids were a little bit older. I wasn't changing diapers all day.
Yeah.
And I thought, I want to do something a little bit different. So I started these hands-on interactive events.
I remember that you worked with like a studio and a photographer in a studio and created these experiences for people, right?
Yeah. It was for photography because that's a good way to get paid, first off, right? So I built some big flower experiences, right? And then people could shoot their photography in it. And I loved that. And I thought, I want this to be public, right? I want this to be interactive for everyone.
So you kind of wanted to activate that more personal experience for the public.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And so I just went out looking around for how to make that happen, right? I'm like cutting my own forsythia tree down to stubs, like just making it happen, right? You just like do it.
And this was like 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, probably about 6 years ago.
Wow. Right before or right after COVID?
Right after.
Wow.
Yeah, right after.
People probably really needed it. So,
there you go. I know, we all did. Like, I feel like everyone's life has a pivot in COVID. You know?
That's great. Okay, so I remember seeing some of those. I don't know, did you shoot video about that too, or?
So when I did that big like studio takeover, that was my aha moment where I thought, I need to capture this because I loved going to the farm, meeting the grower, understanding the whole design element, and then this experience, right? And I'm like, someone needs to video this.
I need to document this.
Yes, I need to document this. Because I loved how it was kind of like an HGTV show or a cooking show, how you see the whole process. And
so true.
in the industry, in the flower industry, I feel like oftentimes we just see the end result. It's beautiful, it's fancy, it's weddings, it's arches, but we don't see that, first of all, the work of growing the flower, and then like, how does it get here? All that design labor, right?
And it really has to be communicated on video because still photography is great, but that energy and that dynamic of hands in flowers and reactions on people's faces, that's video.
Yeah, I love film for that reason, right? It tells the story so three-dimensionally, right?
Had you done any on-camera stuff before that?
No. So I'm a dance major.
Okay.
So I like, I was always performing.
Yeah, and
you're
physical.
Yeah, I was very comfortable being a storyteller of a physical nature, right? But yeah, I just decided, and it's kind of the same now. I'm like, there's people way more talented than me at all the things, but I'm happy to be the storyteller, and I'll just happy to be out there telling the story, right? So
yeah, that's a really good point because you are just creating a forum for that subject to tell their story, and you're drawing it out of them. So I love it.
Which is tricky to get the story out of growers. I'm like, come on, get in front of the camera. You can do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Florists are a little bit more extroverts, but growers are like, let my flowers speak for me.
Like, here's the flowers.
Are you working on laying the groundwork for season 2? Because I remember you did a call for proposals from people, and I think we just reposted that once, but I want an update on that.
Sure, yeah. We're in the middle of filming season 2.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we have half filmed and we've got half to go.
Still doing 10 episodes?
No, this time will be probably 7, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's very fun. And season 2, my goal is to feature designers more than also be the designer.
Yes.
Because one, that's just totally nuts to try and do that all in one weekend, but in a 2-day shoot. But also, I just really want to tell the story of these incredible things happening with flowers all over the country, all over the world. So and also telling the flower story, not only the small flower farm, but the large flower farm. So I want to be able to share that so
more
people
broadly.
have the information, right? Yeah. So
that's exciting. And yes, I don't know how you feel, but I remember you telling me that you were not going to be the producer of the floral experience. And I felt a huge sense of relief on your behalf because I guess it'd be the equivalent of a bride deciding to design her own flowers for her wedding.
And then film it.
And then film it. Yes. Okay, where is the sanity there?
Yeah, there's not much.
No, but I'm curious, like, what kind of response have you got? Because you kind of put it out there and said, I'm interested in coming to tell your story. Pitch me on the arc of what that experience is, and I'm sure you probably got some great suggestions from people.
Yeah, it was really fun, right, to hear people's ideas. And if the budget was $1 bazillion, then I would have gone all over the world because I had some really fun, and hopefully I can.
That's season
right?
3 or 4.
Yeah, right? I know.
Exactly.
I was like, let me get there. But I've got a good stockpile of ideas. Some really, really incredible things that people are already doing, right? These town takeovers, or the funniest one I got was, we want you to put flowers on a whale. And I was like, yes, let's put flowers on a whale.
A whale wearing a flower crown. I love it.
Yeah. And then I found out it was a giant statue of a whale on Maui, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe not quite as cool as a whale in the ocean. But
So is that happening, or is that
maybe season 3?
Okay. I want to see you in a wetsuit, with an underwater camera, swimming alongside. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that just shows the creativity. Like, you obviously sparked something in people, and they wanted to throw that out.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So you're halfway through filming, and do you have all your other episodes already lined up?
For season 2, I do.
That's great.
But if people have ideas for season 3,
reach out.
Yes, please. I love hearing the ideas. It's very exciting.
So this all kind of is being shepherded by this person you're collaborating with, who's sort of representing you to the public television world. But you've had to go out and find sponsorships and funding, and I know there's a tie-in here why we're at Bellevue Botanical Garden because of one of your partners. You want to just talk a little bit about how that came together?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is this beautiful interweaving of, when your story aligns with someone's story and then you just see the doors open, right? So again, it was me knocking on 1 million doors and no one answering
for
a long
Katie.
time.
Oh, Katie. I know we had a few conversations, but I'm just so impressed that you had that perseverance.
Yeah, painful a lot of days. But then, graciously and amazingly, American Public Gardens Association, APGA for short, they answered the call, and it was one of those great moments where I can't even remember how we got connected. I was so impressed with everything they're doing. I love, every time I travel, I go to gardens, right? Of course.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, these are my people,
Yeah.
right? And so, reached out, on LinkedIn. I usually would kind of reach out to 10 different people, right? See who responds.
See who saw the email.
Yeah. And got a couple responses the same day, jumped on a phone call, and then it was so fun because then it was, this off to the races, right? They're thrilled about having they call it what do they call it? So it's commercial but non-commercial, right? Because PBS is non-commercial.
Right.
So it's a spot.
Yeah.
It's like a 30-second spot at the beginning and end of every episode.
But they're nonprofits too, so they understand that, and they that kind of sense of it's community-based. It makes so much sense because we're here at Bellevue Botanical Garden being a member of APGA. Our summit next year in 27 will be at Filoli in the Bay Area, which is just hosted the APGA conference. So, we have a good love affair with those venues and destinations and botanical spots on the map, and I think it's so perfect for you to partner with them because they want to find new audiences, and maybe you're bringing them new audiences.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, it feels like a good symbiotic relationship. And also to get. They said their challenge right now is getting people into the gardens, right? They want people to walk into the garden, right? And so it's fun to think about just that invitation from, seeing it on screen to, make your way into the space.
That's great. Well, we're going to talk to James Gagliardi from Bellevue Botanical Garden before we wrap up, just to get his perspective, because I do think that he can just voice his perspective on it. Maybe his colleagues feel the same way. I've had that experience with public gardens, so I love that. And I know you have other partners too, so I just, if you want to mention them, you can. Otherwise,
yeah, Slate Flosser is this amazing company. It's an electric flosser. My friend started it out of Spokane, and now they just are in Target, so it's very exciting.
And I cut you off. What's the name of it?
Slate.
S-L-A-T-E?
Mm-hmm. Slate Flosser.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we're like girlpreneurs trying to make our way out of Spokane.
I love that. And so they're kind of it's a consumer product, right? Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so that's been really fun to work with them. You know.
That is so great.
You just drag everyone you know into your crazy schemes, right?
Yeah. And to me, my experience is that you work with who you like and who you feel affinity for, and you're very relational. So
thank you.
More people will be knocking on the door very soon. When is season 2 debuting? In 2027?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So June 2027.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got some really fun things in the lineup. It's very exciting.
That's great. Katie, I will share all of your social places and your links and how people can follow you and get in touch with you if they have an idea for season 3.
Do it.
Before we end, though, we commented on how beautiful the blue sky is here and that you flew over today from Spokane. And my heart is with the people of Spokane in Eastern Washington who've been threatened by so many wildfires, which we now have learned are where arson started. So how is it for you and your family and your community? Were you evacuated?
Thankfully, we were not. We were on a level 2 watch, and then we're not evacuated.
Okay.
But so many that we know and love and are acquainted with. You know, I think everyone in Spokane knows a handful of people that lost their homes.
Yeah.
So it has been.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's been heartbreaking, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to go and visit at the disaster centers after a week had gone by, and we just brought bouquets to share with people.
Oh.
And it was lovely, and it was so. People just wanted you to sit and listen to their story, right? Because they had lost everything.
Wow.
Not everything. Thankfully, nobody died, but they lost all of their possessions, right?
No, I mean, I've heard homes burned to the ground, hundreds of them. So,
yeah,
but how nice that you use flowers to maybe have that human connection.
Yeah, just words that you can't say, right? And they, so many of them just shared their story, and we're just grateful to have, like you said, human connection, that people care.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, the community, it's always beautiful. I love when Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers, right? Because it's true, the community is devastated, but everyone truly is coming out to just lift each other,
Wow, that's so special. Well, we'll be thinking about you on that front as well. And I know that a friend of mine who owns a house in Spokane, but happened to be here in Seattle at her parents' house when this all happened, has been sending me links to organizations that are recommended for support, financial support. So I will try to get that from her and share it just for another resource for people. But
thank you.
Yeah, I had you on my mind and thought, how's it going to be for you to leave? But I'm glad that your family's safe. And
they are.
Yeah.
All bit smoky.
I was going to say the psychic pressure of living in that environment is just even with the smoke is harmful. So come enjoy this garden.
I know. I was like, it's very clear and beautiful here.
Well, we're here to celebrate Follow the Blooms. We're so glad you're part of the Soul Flowers community, that you have shined a light on what we're doing with Soul Flowers, but also on flower farmers and floral designers. And it's going to be exciting to watch this season and then anticipate next season. So keep us posted.
Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I love Soul Flowers. I think it's an amazing society. It's been so fun meeting the farmers.
I love it. That's great. Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah. I'm Katie Lila. I make art displays out of fresh cut flowers. Wow, this is looking so fabulous. Flowers really are nature's art, and I love using them as my medium. So fun! Like these little fantasy flower worlds that people can interact with
Oh my gosh, this is stunning. I want this for my bedroom wall.
It's hard to be around flowers without smiling. I love looking at something and being like, ooh, how could we make that into something that could be in a flower installation? Got it. Yes. Victory. A lot of variables, a lot of question marks. How's it gonna go? How's it gonna play out? Woo, we did it! My install team is amazing. They just jump in action and fill in all the weird requests. So come follow the blooms with us. You never know where the adventure's headed.
We all know what paint by number is, right? In this episode, I will be creating a flower by color interactive display. Instead of paint, guests will be invited to add a fresh flower to the corresponding color areas. The plan is to visit Toby Keogh, who is known for painting large, vibrant flower murals and using her custom work as the canvas to place our flowers into. We will also head to the farm of Tracy Yang to source her gorgeous lilies. I'm excited to stop by Seattle Wholesale Growers Market, who will be providing the rest of our local flowers needed for our design. I'm glad to have my spunky and fun creative assistant, Lucy Sharapata, helping me create this experience for the Slow Flower Summit, a live gathering of flower enthusiasts and professionals from around the globe. This year, the summit takes place in the beautiful Bellevue Botanical Garden outside of Seattle, Washington. I'll meet up with the founder of the summit, Deborah Prinzing, writer, speaker, and creator of the slow flower movement. What is a slow flower, you ask? Think of the slow food movement. Slow flowers are local, seasonal, and sustainable.
Look at these over here.
Oh my goodness.
They're kind of more like fishing lines.
They remind me of, the little water skeeters that go on.
Yes, they have a lot of personality.
This area grows so many different varieties.
Yes, it's crazy.
Flowers, right?
I know. We're really spoiled. This is nirvana. All
well,
those
because
phrases.
look, you have like dogwood, you have magnolia, you have hydrangea, you have all these things that really, in other areas, you would only get a handful of those.
Yes.
And they're all here.
We're so lucky.
Deborah, everywhere I go, whenever people are talking about you, they're always just saying delightful things of praise, and their interactions with you are inspiring and motivating, and it's really quite the legacy that you've built.
Thank you.
So this is an international event. It's not always here in Bellevue.
Right.
So tell me about the summit.
Well, the Slow Flower Summit, we're in our 6th year. We have been all around the U.S., and we usually have a 2-day immersion.
I love that.
And it's really just a gathering of people who care about domestic flowers and floral designers and flower lovers who really want to be sustainable and green in their practices, which includes sourcing local flowers. And I know you do that too, so you get that.
Yeah, I always try to. And the funny thing is, the minute you look, you can usually find somebody, right?
Yeah, and if you're a gardener, you see things differently anyway. You're like, oh, that's not in the commercial trade, but I know it would be great in a vase. So you encourages people to plant more in their own gardens too, that they can maybe cut.
Yeah, I love that. People thinking outside of the normal things they're seeing at the grocery store.
Yeah, the same dozen plants that you cut flowers you always see. The diversity of the botanical world is so inspiring, and we get that here, and we wanted to bring our 150 guests to a place that would inspire them, and we're so grateful that Bellevue Botanical Garden said yes.
Yeah, so tell me about this garden.
Well, the Bellevue Botanical Garden is like a jewel in the crown of many public gardens in the Pacific Northwest, but what's so special about this place is the scale. Everything here is an idea and a takeaway for the residential gardener and the home gardener, and it's not something that you couldn't take a lesson from and bring to your own garden.
And then how did you get started with slow flower?
When I discovered that domestic flowers are a very small percentage of what is available to us here in the U.S. 80% of the cut flowers sold in the U.S. are imported.
Wow.
And as a gardener, that didn't make sense to me. It's like, why are we importing a perishable product from 2 continents away on a jumbo jet and using all of that, all those resources, when I know that they can grow in my own backyard. Or I might know a flower farmer from the farmer's market, or somebody who's in my community that is growing commercially, who I want to support financially. I started saying, consider slow flowers like slow food. We see the slow food movement. We are aware of the whole farm to table culinary scene, and that sort of celebrating the local farmer for the food we eat.
Right.
Just take that parallel over to flowers. And so I started using the term slow flowers as kind of a shorthand.
Sure. I'm so excited to be at the summit, be with so many people that are just as in love with flowers as you and I.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because usually my family's like, okay, enough flowers.
Yeah, yeah. You can geek out here and no one will think you're weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Katie, I can't wait to see what you create with your vision and have it come to life with flowers.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Deborah. I can't wait to see the rest of these gardens. You kidding me?
Yeah, let's take a walk.
Yes.
It is so beautiful. Your artist did such a great job. And to integrate the flowers, I love it. We've got our last flowers to go in, and all our Slow Flowers members are here. So we've got Gina, Sarah, Carolyn, Olivia, and they're all gonna help add the last few flowers.
Fun.
All right. You drew the hole for me, right?
There's
Great.
your spot. 3, 2, 1, last flowers. So good, girls.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
what
yeah.
a beautiful thing. I love it.
Okay, come in for a picture.
All right.
Okay, we'll say slow flowers on 3. 3, 2, 1. Slow flowers! Most people their whole life just look at flowers. Very few people touch flowers. And I think there's a lot of power in touching flowers. So I like the idea of passing this beauty that I get to enjoy all the time off to the viewers, to the guests. They get to hold and interact with and create art with these flowers. As I'm walking around the garden, I see so many varieties of flowers. They're all growing together, and they're all just stunning side by side. That is what this journey has been like. This art takes a village. It's, the growers and the production team and the beautiful artists we interact with, and so many people coming together to make one beautiful moment. That's incredible.
Okay, I'm back with part 2 of this interview, and I'm delighted to introduce James Gagliardi, director of the Bellevue Botanical Garden. Hi, James.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. And as it turns out, people who attended the Slow Flowers Summit here in 2023 remember that you were our opening speaker. You told the story of the garden to 100 plus people. That was wonderful.
Yeah, so glad to have you then for the conference and now for what we're doing. And the Bellevue Botanical Garden is just this amazing garden here in Bellevue. We started over 30 years ago and have grown into this gorgeous 53-acre botanical garden, 3,000 varieties of plants, open for free to the public, dawn till dusk every day, and getting about 500,000 visitors now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Bellevue used to be considered a suburb, Boomberg of Seattle, but now on our own, we're 150,000 population, 250,000 during the workday. So we are our own city, and we are growing quite large.
And this city has a world-class garden, and it's so wonderful that it is so accessible. One of the things Katie and I were talking about with Follow the Blooms is that her goal is to make nature and gardens and flowers accessible to everyone. And that seems to be part of your mission.
Yes, and I was so glad to be able to come to Bellevue Botanical Garden because that is what I want to do, attach people with plants. And this garden is great because it's part of the parks system in the city of Bellevue, and I'm a City of Parks employee, and this is a city within a park. We're looking at all the green spaces we have, but what we're able to achieve here is create this garden that's here for the public and free, and that really takes away the barrier for participation.
Well, that is so remarkable because, obviously you have a different business structure than some public gardens where they rely on gate fees. But the fact that, for whatever reason, this garden doesn't is probably draws so many supporters and members that maybe would never set foot in a garden otherwise, because they just would be threatened a little bit, or not threatened, that's not the right word, be intimidated by, having to invest their own money to come if they're just curious.
Yeah, and really the question of why are we successful on this model is it's because of a partnership model. So since day one, even before we opened, a nonprofit formed. They're about half of our staff. They're helping with our fundraising. And then we also have 9 other partners in the garden working with us. Rock Garden Society, Fuchsia Society, Northwest Perennial Alliance, Native Plant Group, all these different clubs that we're able to help extend their mission by giving them a place to display their plants and what they do, but it also supports what we're doing to reach out to the community.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's the thing that struck me the most when I got to, spend more time here, especially when we were planning for the summit. Even though the summit was in June, we could kind of see that the Dahlia display and the Dahlia Society installation was coming along. I don't know if there was anything blooming, but it looks amazing right now.
Yes.
That's just one of the nonprofit organizations that you partner
Exactly,
with.
yeah. Puget Sound Dahlia Association is one of our many partners. Last year, we had over 408 people volunteer, contributing more than 17,500 hours. And in part, it is because, it's crazy, it really is. It's exciting that we are this free garden, so people can really see the contribution they're giving to allow these plants and the public to be here for each other and see that value. And it also helps with the fundraising part, too, because it is great here.
You've got all those missionaries advocating for everything you're doing here.
Yeah.
I saw when I walked in that your next big event is Art in the Garden. That's coming up at the end of August? Or?
Yeah, so Art in the Garden is an annual event done here. It's produced by our nonprofit, the Bellevue Botanical Garden Society. What's unique about that event is it is purely garden art. So there's no tents out here, no paintings. Everything has to be able to survive outside.
In the garden landscape?
Yes, in the garden, and it mixes into our landscape here so well. We have 26 vendors coming out for 3 days. It's quite the event and draws quite the crowd, too.
Wow, and so is that free, too?
That is free.
Wow.
We did make a little change this year where the first 2 hours are shopping for members of the society only.
That's fair. I like that.
It's fair, and actually we needed to do that for crowd control as well, too. It was getting too popular, and we needed to figure out how to line out the attendance a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a good point. Will there be any ceramic artists? Are you getting involved as a ceramic artist yourself?
There are ceramic, there are glass, there are metal artists, things that can survive outside. My art that I do as a ceramicist, I have never sold a piece, so if you're a volunteer here, you would have come to our ice cream social 2 weeks ago, and you would have been entered in the raffle to get ice cream bowls. And I have given out many more vases and things like that, so I do that for my own enjoyment.
And that's interesting that you do it as your artistic expression, but you're not trying to make it a commerce-based art. It's just for your friends and family.
Because I ruined gardening for myself. What? I'm a passionate gardener, but this is my career, and as it may relax others, this stresses me out a little bit.
You turned your passion into a job. Okay,
so then I had to find my other artistic outlet, and that became wheel-thrown ceramics.
I love that. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to, because you're in the American Public Gardens Association, and that is what brought Follow the Blooms together with the Bellevue Botanical Garden for tonight's event. Can you just talk a little bit about how public gardens are, enriching their communities across North America, and why this seems to be a good fit for, sponsoring a show like this?
Yeah, so the American Public Garden Association, we're a member of it with Bellevue Botanical Garden. I've been a member of the organization for over 20 years with the many botanic gardens I've worked with, and that's really the professional organization, both for the people working in botanic gardens to share information, but also for us to market forward the importance of botanical gardens and having those in your community. We talked about the value that we have for the Bellevue, the East Side community here in Seattle. But if you go to the APGA website, you'll see that there's botanic gardens all throughout the U.S., over 500 strong.
Wow,
and you
amazing.
can find the local gardens that you can visit, see plants in situ, learn the best practices, and see what you can be doing in your own home garden. And that's very important.
That's so true. And I also really see what you're doing here with the cultural arts that, you know, cities want to have museums, they want to have theater, they want to have concert halls. They better want to have botanical gardens because that's like as important, more important than ever as some of the other performing arts. And you do it so well here.
Yeah, and we are a museum. We're a living museum. Botanical gardens, zoos, aquariums are sort of that living museum set. All our plants are curated. We have accession numbers for them. They're in a database. They're mapped. So just like a fine piece of art, every one of these plants is in a collections piece for us.
I love it. And you can touch it and smell it, which you can't do at the museum.
Yep. Just don't pick it.
Don't pick it, right, exactly. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up? This has been wonderful.
Just encouraging everybody like you're here with us today that we are here and available for the public. So come out and visit us. But if you're listening from a place that's further away, do go to the APGA website, find your local botanic garden, look for the blooms there, look for the plants, and learn more.
I will add that link, and I will also encourage people to add a stop here if you come to the Pacific Northwest. And you know what? It's the most cool place to visit in the winter as well. It's not just it's a four-season garden. It's not for rain. It's cool here in the rain. I love coming in the winter.
And we have the best light show, all hand-built by volunteers and lights that are crafted to look like plants
That's the holiday
Garden Delights
destination. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, James.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.